This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by the one and only Trans Labs that brought the world two amazing products. First off, Transfuse, which is a hydration multiplier, and most recently, they just dropped Transcend, which is a nootropic energy formula. No matter what you use, when you choose Trans Labs, you are going to be boosted and you are going to be ready to charge the paintball field and win out there. With Transfuse, that is a premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in this product. We've got zinc, we've got vitamin B6, we've got vitamin C, sodium, potassium, choline, and it is an amazing way to make sure that you're hydrated and prepared to play top level paintball. When it comes to Transcend, that is a premium nootropic energy formula designed to increase cognitive performance, elevate mood and clarity while supporting long-term brain health, and it's going to leave you feeling great with no crash or jitters. It's one of the only products in the nootropic space backed by research studies to ensure the formula is correct for optimal performance. It is more potent than anything on the market, and it will keep you charged and ready to win out there. I take one scoop, but if you're stimulant sensitive, take a half scoop. And if you want that LFG dose to launch to the moon, dump 2 scoops in your drink and you are going to be flying down that paintball field. Comes in 2 delicious flavors, Baja Blast and Skittles Candy for the Transcend. And for the Transfuse, they have 2 new flavors as well, Pineapple Express and Hawaiian Punched. So if you get a chance, head over to translabs.com. That's TRANZLABS.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and you'll get 10% off. If you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you also get 10% off as well. So you can take advantage of 20% off on these products. Head over to translabs.com and give it a go.
What's going on, PTG fam? Thank you guys so much for tuning in and rocking with us. This episode was one of the more difficult ones to date. Obviously, with the passing of Bobby Aviles over the weekend, somebody very close to both Tyler and myself, it was pretty tough to get on the show and discuss the NXL Sacramento event and everything that had happened in the last week. But I'm really glad we did. We had some great conversation. We were able to, share some amazing stories from Bobby. And we did also have Michael Zuppa, the event MVP and dynamite player for Edmonton Impact, on the show. So it really did turn out to be a really good episode. Lots of great nuggets, and we're incredibly excited for you guys to listen. So without further ado, we'll see you in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys, though. Tyler Harmon saved that game.
Came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Welcome, everyone, to the PTG Show. PTG Nation, we love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got Marcelo the Martian on the mic, and just saw you a couple days ago out in Sacramento. Always good
brother.
to see you out there. How you doing in SoCal?
I'm doing all right, man. Obviously, it's been a heavy couple of days in the paintball world, and just getting back home from Sacramento after we had a disappointing finish, and the news of Bobby has definitely made it a strange week. Trying to process everything, and here we are on the show. We got a lot to talk about. It was still a great weekend. There was a lot of really great bright spots. But man, just kind of trying to settle in here.
Yeah, I know what you mean, bro. Bobby Aviles passed away this weekend, one of our best friends in the entire world, and an absolute revolutionary paintball player in the landscape of what we do, not only as a player, stylistically, but just as a person. Um, there's very few people that you meet in this world that have a heart as big as Bobby Aviles. And, we lost such an amazing person. And I still haven't even unboxed it all. My heart is completely shattered, and I know that all of our friends and everybody's mourning. And we are sending tons of love to his family and all the friends out there, and Nina as well, his girlfriend. And we're just trying to process everything that happened with that. And you're right, there was some bright spots in Sacramento. We both really fell short out there, and did not, you know, do what we're
Yeah.
designed to do on that paintball
Mhm.
field, which is going to make us stronger moving into the further events. But yeah, man, it's been definitely been a rough 72 hours to say the least. And we are here with all of you out there who are mourning Bobby, and we just want you to know that we love you, and we're sending tons of love out there to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's I think that's, really well said, Ty. I know that the whole paintball world, it's Tim Montresor, last year, or wow, it's been actually almost 2 years now.
Yeah,
Such a integral part of paintball. And Bobby was absolutely uh, he it's interesting. I've seen so many
and
posts of
And
different
Marcus
players
too.
and Marcus. Yeah, and
Yeah,
Marcus. My goodness.
yeah,
It's sad, it's sad. These are all individuals that we were really close with, growing up, and had a major role in our outcome and, our production in this sport, both as humans and as players. Um, you know, the Bobby is one of my he's in my really tight circle, Um, ever since I was 15, 16 years old, that dude was just in my corner. He was one of my best friends. Um, and to see all of the stories and interactions that he had with people, the amount of people that had post similar things of how Bobby took them aside and worked with them and believed in them and showed them love and showed them compassion and tried to help them achieve their goals and be the best that they could be. I mean, it's incredibly impressive. I don't even know how somebody has that kind of time, that kind of, the amount of people that had such similar stories. I was just blown away from, and it made me smile, and also tear up, because it's just who Bobby was. It really was. If you knew Bobby, if you met Bobby, you probably had this type of interaction with him where he was trying to do whatever he could to help you, or help you improve, or just boost you up. It's just who Bobby was through and through. Um,
yeah,
and it's man, it's hard to find the right words for it. I first met Bobby way back. I was probably 15 years old. We became friends pretty quick. He was already an established professional player on excessive, but he was like the young go-getter, in the league right then. He was the young up and comer that was just fighting tooth and nail. He had all the style, like you said. He had all the grit, all the passion. Everybody knew he
oh
was going
yeah,
to be one of the best. And uh, we became friends, and this was back when LTZ was a team. We had a lot of friends that were out in Las Vegas. They were the young up and coming kids as well. They had their own field. They had a big house out there, and so almost every weekend I would drive from San Diego. I remember driving up there before I even had my license. I remember I bought a car in my grandmother's name when I was 15 years old. I got a Toyota Corolla in my grandmother's name before I even had a license. This was because I had to work to help pay the bills with my mom. So I wasn't really going to school at the time. Got a car before I got my license. And I would drive, wherever I needed to go to, paintball field and to work, whatever it was. And I would drive up to Bobby's house in, like North Los Angeles, park my car there, hop in his car, and we'd drive out to Vegas for the weekend. And we'd stay at the team house and go and practice. And, often we'd wake up Saturday morning. And a lot of the guys wouldn't want to go out to the field because it's going to be too hot and they drank a little too much the night before. But Bobby and I always went, no matter what. You know, Bobby's like, kid, we're going to the field. Like, this is what we came here for. We're going to go work. We'd go to the field and you know, at the time, like, he would always supply the paint. That was never an issue. And we would just play one-on-ones. We'd literally be the only ones there. We'd play 50, 70, 80 one-on-ones, like through exhaustion. I remember throwing up at these days, you know, both of us just going back and forth. And he would kick my butt. I mean, Bobby was the real deal, you know? And we just go back and forth all day long. And then at the end, you'd feel so accomplished, you know, and it gave me, like, as those weekends went on and as, you know, we get like 2 years into doing that, I mean, you know, 10, 12, 15 times a year at least, you know, I started to become really confident in my one-on-one ability, my gunfighting, you know, and this was just like a small thing that, you know, I got to do with Bobby in training, you know, and it became a staple of my game. You know, I remember one of the biggest moments I ever had in paintball was a one-on-one against Kirill in the World Cup finals in 2007. You know, it was a massive point, like an 8-minute point. And I won that one-on-one. I remember even then, I'd always been like, Bobby, you get so much praise for this, dude. You know, I was like, I got you now. I could beat you in these one-on-ones now, but it's all because of you, you know? And no, it's, you know, no disrespect. Bobby's one of the nastiest gunfighters to ever play the game. Like, that was his thing. He was just a relentless gunfighter.
He's an animal on the paintball
field.
He's
an animal, Bobcat, you know, he's an animal, like truly an animal. He was one of those players that if it's like, you know, a 2-on-5 and Bobby's on the 2, like, you just have to have eyes on him because he's going to do something crazy. He's going to be over the top, out to the side, making a move, bunkering somebody. He was just so sporadic and so quick and just like his fundamentals were so solid that he could make these moves and put a ball on you so easily, you know, and he did it so many times. Down bodies, just pulling points back. He did it for us in Europe. This last event we won, we had a game against the Tauntauns, an important match on Sunday where we were down bodies, and, you know, I think it was a 2-on-4, maybe a 2-on-5. It was definitely 2-on-4. And literally I was thinking, we were like, hey, we got to blow the buzzer. And then all of a sudden Bobby like disappeared on the Dorito side and ended up shooting everybody and won the point. I was like blown away. You know, again, it's just like Bobby would always create some magic out there.
I remember watching him do this in some of the first moments I ever saw Bobby, you know, running around with Trost Crew and the Hostile Kids Army, and they're all playing paintball and just rampaging on the fields. And, you know, Bobby stood out immediately because of the style, man. He had a very sporadic and aggressive style, and you were going to feel Bobby. You know, he was going to make sure you felt Bobby out there. Like, when he stepped on the field, he morphed into a absolute monster on the paintball field. And I remember watching, you know, Bobby throughout his career, and, you know, we got to play together on Aftermath and have been, you know, I've been so blessed to be able to run alongside Bobby. Year. Yeah. And we had such a good crew, man. And, you know, we took second place at the NXL Chicago out there. Yeah. And I don't know, I think that's the Aftermath has not won a pro event since the 7-man, I believe, is if I'm correct. And I think that was the highest in the 5-man format that Aftermath has placed so far. And, you know, they're looking good. Aftermath is playing strong. But it's been such a dream come true to be able to run alongside Bobby. And, you know, the most important thing that I know I want to convey throughout all this is that we're all a family. You know, we're all in this together. This is team us. This is all us. And, you know, I know it's hard in life to even know which way to turn in a lot of things, but it's all about us coming together and supporting each other throughout life, you know, the ups and downs of it all. And just know that we're here for you. If you ever need anything out there, if you ever need a shoulder to cry on, an ear to listen to, you know, we're here. We are here, and we want you to know the door is always open, and we got love, so much love. And that's what paintball is a life changer in that regard, because it gives you like we talk about a tribe, right? This beautiful
Yeah.
tribe that we're a part of, and this beautiful community. And whenever things like this happen, it's a great opportunity for us to move closer together and lift up our brothers and sisters. And Bobby deserves all the light in the world. The dude was such a
Mm-hmm.
pivotal role player in this game, and we just want everyone to know that we love you and we love Bobby, and we're here for it all, for everything. If you ever need anything, PTG, Marcelo, myself, I know the paintball community as a whole. Lasoya, I see messages out here. He's opening his door. There's so many people in this community that will always be there for you. But Bobby is going to be missed dearly. You know, I can't even. I still
Yeah.
cannot believe it. It's hard for me to even grasp at this moment. And we will be sure to also provide information as we hear it in regards to his ceremony and lifting his name up to the stars, and making sure that we show all the love in the world for Bobby and all the love that he poured into this world. Because, like I said, he had one of the biggest hearts I've ever known.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Yeah.
on this experience here.
Yeah, Ty, I mean, very well said. It's amazing how many of my paintball stories are with Bobby. I was again just
Yeah.
watching all these photos be shared of him, and I'm like, I'm in almost all of them that that I see in like overseas. Where Australia or Europe or Asia. He was always there. Just such a integral part of the damn sport.
Mm-hmm.
And Maddie says something quite a bit. You said it on the webcast. You experienced two deaths in this life. The first is your physical one, and the second is the last time your name is spoken. And as long as I'm alive, I know, and you as well, I know Bobby will never experience that second death. He just gave too much to the paintball community. His story has to live on. It will live on. He has influenced such a wave of players, like 100%. So much of our style and the way that we play and the way that we approach the game is because of Bobby. And I just truly mean that.
The
The mental
mentality as
tenacity.
well.
Yeah, the mentality,
Yeah.
dude. Bobby was different in that sense. Like the friendliest person off the field, but as soon as it was time to get on that field, I mean, he's a demon. He's an
Mm-hmm.
absolute demon. The infamous guys were sharing a photo when we won Chicago in 2010. Because that's right. Ty, because we played on Aftermath together in 09. Me, you, Bobby,
Yep.
Mouse, we had the crew, right? And then in
Yeah.
2010, it was that weird thing where Aftermath was supposed to merge with Infamous, but then it like didn't. But me and Zach Wake and Bobby stayed with Infamous. Where did you go then?
Yeah. To Tampa.
Oh, in
Tampa Bay
2010?
Damage. Yeah.
Damn. I thought that was a few
Yeah.
years later. I thought that was like
Because
13 or something.
I went to 13 is when I started with Dynasty.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I
Yeah.
went to the infamous tryout like 2 or 3 weeks prior to the team rolling into the event. And then I got a call from Joey, and Dave, actually Baines, was on the team as well with Tampa Bay at the time. And I decided to play for Tampa, and I played with, and they needed help as well because Spence was going through a hard time, and they
Oh,
had
that's right. Yeah.
kind of a lapse in the roster, and I was able to go in, help the team, had a great time, great experience. Some of the best times of my life, actually, hanging out with those Tampa Bay Damage guys. They were amazing. And shout out to Rumsey El Yusuf, Egyptian royalty. Um, Rumsey's the man.
Rumsey.
And all the,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that we've been on the same parallel paths, myself, you, Bobby, the young crew.
Oh, yeah.
There's a coalition of us that have spearheaded this new era of paintball. And Bobby was the tip of that spear with us, man. Like,
Mhm.
Bobby cared about this game more than I would dare to say almost anybody in this paradigm that we're a part of paintball, man. And I don't think anybody really fathoms how much this man shaped the paintball community and the players, and like the style and the
Yeah.
aggressiveness. Like, Bobby had a huge part to do in the way that we like approach stepping on that field. And I just fucking miss him so
certain
much.
certainly the Southern California and like California young kids coming up, right? He's a SoCal
Yeah.
legend, to say the least. I mean, he became so much bigger than that, but like, before he even blew up, he was the SoCal legend. And he accomplished, everything you would want to in a paintball career. Just going back to that 2010 year with Infamous, when we beat Tampa Bay actually so you were on that team that we beat in Chicago. See, I don't think you were on Tampa Bay in 2010.
Or maybe it was Impact, and then it was Tampa, because I played for in between there. I played for Impact and Tampa. It might have been Impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember Bobby just played out of his mind. I mean, it was like one of the best performances I've seen, especially in a finals match. He played so damn good and was just relentless and just had us juiced, like, oh my gosh. But I'm just so thankful for all of the moments that I've been able to have with him. And it's strange. So we were so close from the day that I met him all the way up until probably 2018, 19, when he kind of stopped playing. He had retired from the Ironman. Didn't see him quite as much. And, we would call each other every couple months and have a conversation, check in on each other. How you doing? Miss you, this and that. Let's meet up. Let's get some dinner. And we never followed through on it. And then this year, it's like, it's really special to me, actually. I'm feeling incredibly fortunate and blessed that I got to spend this year with him again, because, this year we had an opportunity to play in Europe together with the Camp Pendleton Raiders. And, he called me and was like, hey, let's do this. This is awesome. I won't play pro in the US, so that we can play together over here. I have a couple opportunities to play pro in the US right now, but I'm not going to do it. So we can play together in Europe, which I thought was a grand gesture. And, actually some of the other guys on the team had a similar opportunity, and everyone kind of agreed, like, for this year, we're not going to do it. Shout out to Steven. He's a stud. He's that kid can play on probably any of the any of the teams in pro paintball. I think he's a uncharted gem. And everyone had the understanding of like, hey, we could go do something really cool in Europe. So, Marcelo will be the only US pro playing, and we'll go do this European thing. And so, Bobby and I really rekindled our friendship. We were talking all the time again, which, felt amazing. We were able to go to practice together. We were, back on like the same team. So you're like going through that same process, getting ready for events. There's like so much communication amongst teammates, so much, chemistry that goes into winning. And then, we were in Germany, and it's interesting. I went back through my Facebook, and like the oldest photo I have on my Facebook, and I got my Facebook late in like 2009, 10 or something like that. But I had a photo of Bobby and I in Germany, actually, like in front of a lake. There's all sorts of lakes when you're in Germany. It's just beautiful backdrops of green mountains, and then, large ponds, small lakes, whatever you want to call them. There's a picture of me and Bobby. And then the last picture that I have with Bobby is in Germany in front of like a similar thing. It was kind of strange. I'm really fortunate. We got to go over to Germany, compete in another event together. We won the event. And, that was
Those
Bobby's
videos,
last tournament.
Those videos and pictures are timeless, man.
Dude.
And,
they break my heart, man. Those videos are tough to look at. Just, it's just the essence of Bobby and our friendship and hanging out with him and being around him. And I know so many other people have shared that with Bobby too, so I can't imagine how so many people are feeling. I mean, it's so sad, but it's an unfortunate reality of life that we don't get everyone forever, and tomorrow's never promised. And it really puts things into perspective of how important it is to appreciate the moments that we do have. Be kind to others, let people know that you appreciate them, that you care about them, go out of your way to see people that you haven't seen in a long time, keeping relationships and checking in on people, it's a very important thing. And not taking anything for granted. I think that really is the essence of it all. Don't take anything for granted. The good, the bad, whatever it is, don't take it for granted, because again, it's just nothing is promised. Nothing after this moment is promised. And Again, as you get older, you experience more things like this that really ring that bell and show you how true that is. You just got to be thankful for everything you do have and the moments you do have with the people you do have. So
That's some of the best
yeah,
advice you'll ever hear right there. And I feel like I was just in Mexico with Bobby and the whole crew for Brandon Short's wedding, having the time of our life. And me and Bobby had one of the deepest conversations because we both, getting a little bit older into our 30s, talking about the journeys, talking about all the people, talking about the experiences, and the zest for life that we still have. And he will always light my fire, and I'll always carry him in my heart. And like you said, Marcelo, just being grateful, man. Like, really, it's a miracle. Every moment, every opportunity that you have to connect with the people around you, your family, your teammates, your friends, your enemies, people that maybe drive you crazy, but if we can just see past it all and understand how valuable it all is in our growth and in our development, this is all we got. Like I said in the beginning, it's team us, it's team now, and
Mhm.
like, we got to really be humbled and grateful for every opportunity. And that goes from, our life experiences and then on the paintball field as well, right? It's all coupled, and everything kind of transcends into paintball as well. But we will be sure
Certainly
to
does.
keep everyone posted and be posting on PTG with any information in regards to Bobby and lifting his name up and the ceremony that will be happening. And then, we just got home from Sacramento. A lot went on out there. It was a wild tournament. Both of our teams fell short. And I don't know. It was a wild weekend. It was a wild
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, it was hard for me to even find any relevance in a lot of the outcome. It's strange. On one hand, you want to go play as hard as you can, and on the other hand, it's like, why am I even here? To be completely honest. Um, but then the game starts, and you're in that moment. And paintball. This is why I love paintball. This is why paintball has always been the most important thing in my life, honestly, is because as soon as that damn game starts, dude, it is the only thing you're thinking about. You are so in the moment. It's freeing of anything else. And so it was almost the kind of the perfect thing as well. But yeah, both of our teams definitely fell short, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the Ironmen. They played fantastic. I wish they would have put up a better fight against Impact in the finals, but they had a great Sunday run, and good for them. They're a very young team. Obviously, they have a few veterans. Nick Sloviak, Al Fernandez is now a veteran. You could say Keith DeVitt is one of the veterans too. They had Shane Pastana back in the fold, so between him and Nicky, I
Shaner.
mean that's a dynamite combination right there. And it showed. It showed for sure. They
Mm-hmm.
have some young talent in Trent, and that dude Kyle is a stud over on the Dorito side. And then Trey Garton, I think that's his name, Tree Garden.
Tregarthen.
He's one of the Tree Garthen, yeah, one of the old Hunter
Mm-hmm.
players. He's really good. So it's really promising for the Ironmen. And honestly, I'm happy to see that. I really am. They were on like the verge of relegation, and that's the last thing that I would want. You don't want a team like the LA
Totally.
Ironmen to get relegated. That's not good for the sport. They're such a legendary franchise.
Mm-hmm. And
Go ahead, Tom.
they solidified their spot with that
I
placement.
believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Which
Yeah.
is, good for them, truly. And the future's bright, and it's cool to see, again, young kid Trent Nita. He's on the Team USA squad as well. A kid that I've gotten to work with for the last 7 years, I think. And just to watch his growth and how good he's become, he is an absolute weapon out there. So I'm really excited to see him continue to, it was funny shaking their hands afterwards. I'm shaking his hand. I'm like, you little shit. It's like, it's what I'm thinking in my mind. He just knocked us out of Sunday. But
Mm-hmm.
hey, you got to show up, you got to perform. We got a ton of penalties, and you know what? They were deserved. And so you got to really look inward and like, to me, penalties, look, minors, if you're hit in the pack or on your loader and you're playing on because you truly don't know, a minor's deserved. I'm with it. And we can move on from those, like it happens sometimes. It's part of the game and you truly don't feel it. But you cannot be getting majors. You cannot be getting multiple majors in a match.
Well, those were gross majors.
We had 2 gross majors.
Yeah.
I think you guys had a couple majors in your match as well, but no gross majors. Like a gross major is, dude, I was pretty heated after the match, and rightfully so. I'm like, I feel like if you get a gross major, that you should have to sit the whole next tournament. Like, that's insane. It's insane. Why do you need to do that? It just shows a lack of faith in your team. It shows a greed and a need for you to like try to create your own stardom. And I don't know. I also feel like there's been this little bit of a paradigm shift where I feel like a lot of the players are trying to see what they can get away with more now than I feel like they have in the last 10 years. Obviously, way back in the day, cheating was pretty rampant in the sport. Like Woods Ball days, 10-man days. But I really feel like we got to an era where it was like really cleaned up. And I'm seeing it with the young kids now, which I'm like, is this like part of the new I don't get it, where cheating's like a thing. I mean, it is so stupid. It is so stupid. I see it cost more teams.
Selfish. It's Greg. They've been playing Greg Hastings paintball. The meter? It's got the meter on
Greg.
it.
Don't blame Greg. It's got the meter on it. High risk. Got him.
Yeah, they just.
I don't know, dude.
It's hardwiring.
It's mind-boggling to me. Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me. I mean, I've never in my life wiped in a tournament. Never. I put that on everything. I've never wiped in a tournament. To me, that is such an egregious thing to do. You don't do that, and then not only that, but then these refs are with us every event. They see you do it once, like you're never going to get the benefit of the doubt. So young kids, if you're listening to this, do not make that your thing. Get good enough so you don't have to do that. And then I think it also does something like if you do cheat and you get away with it, you're not tapping into like fixing that problem because it wasn't really a problem. You didn't get punished for it. You didn't like cost your team a point, because you got shot out of your spot. So it's just all around bad. It hinders you. It hinders your growth. Not a fan of it. Really frustrated, that it happened. Definitely a bummer. Also the Ironmen, they did play really well, dude. They did play really well. They were super aggressive. They threw stuff at us that we hadn't quite seen. And yeah, again, like, they went on to beat X Factor after that, right? They were having a day.
They were playing really well. Shout out to the Ironmen. Shout out to Thunder as well. They did well, moved into the top 4 there. And I just want to hit on one more thing with the cheating thing. Like, when you say don't make it a part of your game, because what's going to happen is you are going to get caught. It might not be that point, but if you keep, it's going to be this thing where it's going to happen, and it's just better to just nip it in the bud, and it's we do see a lot of it, we see a lot of it in the pros, but if you can really focus on making that another level of your game, it's going to make you a tremendously valuable player, because you're going to be on the field a lot. You're going to be playing your bunker tighter. You're going to be snapping tighter. You're going to be working on these details that are going to make you an overall better machine out there. And not just in these little moments, but in the grand scheme of your career. You're going to be a much more facilitated, a much more well-rounded player with playing super aware of your body, aware of the angles, aware of how tight you're playing. Because essentially that's what it comes down to. Is being tight in the bunker so that we don't have those little things hitting us, and being aware with the good questions that we ask, so that we know the positioning of the angles, so that we know where to position our body. These are all very important attributes that you have to acquire and develop as a player. And when you acquire and develop these assets, it changes the paradigm of not only your playing ability, but every player around you. So it's imperative. It's imperative to, shift that. And, there's not enough refs out there. There's not enough police officers, and you're not going to get caught. You know what I'm saying? But if we can shift that and just, move in the right direction, it's going to make you a more well-rounded player, and you're going to feel good about your game straight up. You're going to feel really good about your paintball game.
Yeah, it's like if you're like playing Monopoly or something, and you sneak money, and you're the banker, and you sneak money from the bank. Like, do you feel good about winning that game? Like, why do we
Probably.
feel good about? Well, I don't know. I don't know. I
uh,
enjoy actually outsmarting people, actually outplaying people. I
yeah,
don't understand the cheating thing. There's a difference
I
between
don't know.
riding the gray area. Like I get it. Look, I think in all sports there's a gray area that can be respectfully ridden. In football, it's like maybe a hold. In
I
basketball,
agree.
sometimes it's a little tug on the jersey. You know, but like an egregious act of like wiping a hit or something like that, or a dead man's walk or talking from the pit, that kind of stuff that's just like blatant cheating. Come on, come on, come on,
Hmm.
come on, people.
Yeah,
And I'm speaking to the kids
yeah.
right now more than anything, because again, I have a lot of kids that I coach, and then they do it. I'm like, no, you need to stop that, like right now. You
Hmm.
got to stop that. Period. Got to stop that. Get rid of that habit,
Yeah,
because as you go through the ranks, like you might get away with it in divisionals, but as you get better and you build a name, guess what? Now more refs are watching you. And then when refs start watching you, you might get away with something, but a ref might go, I think he got one over on me. I'm going to pay attention to him even more now. And, like the ref might just catch a little late, doesn't throw a penalty, but then next time, boom, penalty. And then as you work your way up through the ranks and you have a reputation of this, you will never get the benefit of the doubt. My boy, I love Zach Wake so much, but that poor guy got such a bad rap for not even like that bad of stuff. He just sometimes would play on, like not feel hits. And I felt bad for him because I truly believe Zach was never like an egregious cheater. Like I never saw him wipe anything, but he would play on sometimes. And anytime there was a like 50-50 call that, I wouldn't have gotten a penalty for, oh, Wake's getting a major, like for sure, just because of reputation. And you don't want that. You know what I mean? You don't want that. It can cost your team. And it's just no bueno. And Wake was, to me, I think there was so much left on the table there, because Wake was one of the
I
nastiest
agree.
snake players. Yeah, he was so good. I loved playing with Wake. He was an amazing teammate, and just honestly, the potential was through the roof. I wish he would have stuck with it. Like if he was still
Yeah.
playing, I think he would be in the conversation with Mouse for sure. I really believe that he had this little X factor about him. He was so fundamentally sound and athletic and gifted in that position. Um,
If he was
he
still
just
doing
real
it right now from
yeah,
that
yeah.
time, for sure,
Oh
he would
yeah.
be in the
Oh
conversation
yeah.
of top snake
Oh yeah.
players, without
Oh
a
yeah.
doubt.
100%. Because he
He's the
was
man.
back then. He really was. Yeah,
Yeah.
got a lot of love for Wake, but he also had a nickname, Major Wake, because of some just
Yeah.
a bad reputation sometimes, and got a lot of penalties and often undeserved. But again, you don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Dude, that made me think of a story. So and this is just a great story because it shows that it happens. I was 14 years old playing my first season of pro paintball. I get sent up to the X by Bob Long, playing with the Oakland Assassins. I roll up to the Dorito side of the X. I'm patrolling the Dorito side. All of a sudden, there's a sharp pain up my legs and my spine. And I just got annihilated. The guy came through the center of the X and just dissected me, and I just immediately off instinct went through the middle of the X and stuck him. And so
Oh, I
I
know what you're talking
I
about.
I obviously got a major penalty, and this was
Yeah.
like one of my first couple events as the young pro in the league, the youngest pro. I think I still hold the
Yeah,
world
yeah.
record for youngest pro ever. And all the refs lined up and they said, "Tyler, come on out." And all the refs saluted me and they called me Major Harmon. It was one of the funniest things ever,
Yeah.
dude. But
Dude,
I guess my point is it happens.
yeah,
Like I was young,
it does.
didn't know, and you make mistakes.
Right.
But if we can grow and develop that, that's going to make you such a better paintball player.
Totally.
Yeah,
When I was like 11 years old, I had my own team. It's called Die Kids. We were semi-sponsored by Die. They hooked us up with some gear and stuff, and actually it was kind of cool. Our logo became a logo that Die used for their kids brand. It was pretty
yeah,
sweet, as a kid that like made up this logo. Back then it was badass. And we were at a 7-man tournament. I think it was one of the like Pan Ams maybe, and it was in Las Vegas. And
Pan Am.
again, I'm like 11, maybe 12 years old. And I remember I was in like one of the corners, was a hyperball field, and I got shot in the loader or the goggles. I forget which one. And I wiped it. And after the game, I didn't get caught, but after the game, this like mom and their family, it was like 4 people, came up to me. "You little punk, we have that all on video camera. We're going to send this to die. You're going to lose your sponsorship. You're never going to be seen in this sport again. You're never going to have a career." Like, dude, I was petrified. I was mortified. I was scared. This is like that show where they take kids and like put them in jail to scare them straight. I forget what it is. Do you know what show I'm talking about? There's a
Yeah,
show
it's on
where
like
it's like,
MTV.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was that. This was that for me. I was so scared that that I ruined my whole paintball career. From that action, I was like, I'm never going to get a sponsor. I'm never going to go pro. I thought it was over for me. I was so scared. Nothing ever came of it. But I'll tell you what, I honestly, to this day, like I've never wiped a hit. I can
It's not worth it.
practice.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Listen, 10-man and like woods ball stuff, that's a little different. They have a different set of rules. But outside of that, like I just simply don't cheat. And I don't know if I have PTSD, if I'm like scared of it from back then, but truly
sure.
that scared me so much of like what it could do to my reputation, my name. And it's like, it's an integrity thing too. Like, I don't know. I feel like there should be some honor in sports. I think
Totally.
there's a reason there's some players in the league that are actually really good, but I just don't really respect them because when we play, yeah, you may have beat me, but you had 5 lives to do it. And it's really frustrating. There is no honor there. And it's kind of, I don't know, it goes both ways, but without
We got to keep
further
the game
ado here,
we got to keep the game clean. We got to keep the game clean.
Yes, we do got to keep the game clean. And actually back into the NXL Sacramento talk, we have the MVP of the event ready to hop on the show, Mikey Zuppa. I'm really excited to talk to him. So let's give him a call here.
He played amazing. And congratulations to Edmonton Impact for taking home the win out there at the Sacramento NXL.
Here we go. Ring-a-ling. PTG is calling.
Ring-a-ling-ling. Let's go.
Yo.
Mikey Zuppa.
Yo.
Oh,
let's go.
How we doing, fellas?
Oh, man, we're great, dude. We are live here on PTG, brother. How you doing, MVP?
Doing great. Just went out for Taco Tuesday.
Nice. Did you celebrate? Good. You celebrate a little bit?
Honestly, I had a nice evening on Sunday with the team, and kind of had to get back to real life. But I might try to celebrate for a bit. We'll figure it out.
Nice,
Taco
dude. It's
Tuesday. Let's go.
Hey, as LeBron always says, Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, it hit the spot, man. It hit the spot. I needed to just take it back, and it takes a few days to recover. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but body's still a little beaten down.
Yeah, well
it's because you worked. Actually, you worked your ass off.
Yeah, but where are you again? Like Tennessee? You guys don't have tacos there.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yeah, we do.
You don't have no good tacos over there.
Hey. Dalton, Georgia is the carpet capital of the world and attracts a diverse population, and we have all the foods.
We have all the foods. All right.
There we go.
All right.
You have to come to San
Diego. Yeah, you'll have to come to San Diego. I'll show you some good tacos sometime.
Yeah. I'll try it out.
Yeah. My dude, man, MVP, your performance was electric. To cap it off, you were like clearly you were clearly in the conversation. And honestly, I think many people thought once you guys got to the finals that you were at the top of the list for MVP. And then you go and have a finals performance like you did. You pulled off a damn 4-on-1, which is insane. Mikey, talk to me about that, man. This was also your first tournament win ever, is it not?
Yep. 18 years. 18 years since I first picked up a gun.
Dude,
congratulations.
In my mind.
Yeah.
I think 10 or 11 years pro. I'm 28 now. I was 17 when I went pro, and I took maybe a year off, so maybe 10 seasons. And all that time, of course, a lot of highs and lows throughout there, and I never got a pro win. And like this tournament was just interesting. It just kind of came I don't know, the whole team was gelling. Things just felt natural. We were connecting. I don't feel like we were that stressed or pressed. We just knew kind of what we needed to do to execute.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always the most exciting game. We played it slow a lot. But things just felt right. And when you feel it, I think on the first day we were feeling it, and it's like, oh gosh, we just need to continue, living in this zone and this flow state. That's what, that's what I thought the recipe was for us, was finding what put us in that same zone each match, because we started off on a pretty good foot.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I remember you talking about it on the last episode, the full show we did with you, about not having a pro win. And so to go into this event and see, to be honest, I also had a feeling that you guys being a lighter roster, because the reality of Impact is you guys have 10, 11 players that you choose any five, pull any five out of a hat, and they can start and win a tournament probably. And so I think you guys having a lighter roster also helped in that too, right? Like you talk about, not having as much stress, that you're not going to lose play time. So just go out there and play, and you can really get into a rhythm with one another, and it does kind of relieve some of that stress. Do you think that contributed to it?
Definitely. Like, I still think we were a little lean for the tournament, coming in with 6.
Yeah.
I think maybe 7 or 8 is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
But compared to like last tournament, I think, everybody on the team felt like we had, a dream team of a roster, but we didn't quite, certain people missed some practices, and we were never like able to really connect that big of a group. So we kind of got a chance to do it on a smaller level. And I think the roster dynamic on this layout and this tournament, I think, helped us. But certainly we're looking forward to like this next tournament, having everyone back and coming with a new approach into Chicago. Just with the addition of new guys at the tournament before, we didn't quite have the right recipe of how to balance it all. Because it's a lot, 11 guys is a lot.
It's a lot for sure. It is hard for a coach to balance that many players. And again, especially when like you could argue they're all deserving of points, and it's almost, you got to make the tough decision and say, look, we're just going to go with, this amount and let them get the reps. I think especially on a blind layout, more reps is probably really beneficial. You get a little more practice and understanding of the field. You get to work on the small intricate details of the 1 and 2 combinations on a side. I think that plays into it for sure.
Well, how many guys did you have, Marcelo? You guys had over 10, right?
We had 10. Yeah. So the only one we were missing was Dalton. We have 11 normally. We had 10. Everybody got play time. And it's a tough thing for a coach, but I believe I do a lot of coaching myself, and I do have teams that I coach that have 9, 10 players, and we are never going to run all 10 on Sunday. It's just, to me, I've never found that to be effective. I've never found that to be the way. I know Damage won the Dallas event like that, but I think that was an anomaly. I think you got to find your hot hand. You know what I mean? And maybe everyone will play, but you have to kind of, you have to, if a line wins, maybe you run them back and you get like a nice little lead, and then you get a relief, from the other players. There's an art to it. There's a timing, there's an art to it. There's a lot of, the coach really has to be in tune with what is working for their team. And
that's exactly.
And a lot of tough decisions have to be made in that coaching position. But to me, that's really crucial. It's really crucial.
Mm-hmm.
And so
at the last tournament, before this last tournament, I was grabbing some bench. I didn't even play on Sunday.
Yeah.
But we just had so many guys, and the layouts, and what do you do with everybody, and who's playing well, and with who else, like who's your partner. And I grabbed a good amount of bench. So sometimes it works out like that, and sometimes you get an opportunity.
But you're a great team player, and that means a lot as well, And no matter what organization you've been a part of, always been a great team player, and you really showed, that pedigree this week, and you showed those gears, showed, what you have in the tank. And like you just said, you're like, I'm feeling tired, and damn straight you're feeling tired because you left it all out there. You know what I mean? And that's what it takes to win. That's what it takes to get an MVP award. That's what it takes to be at the top. So I kind of want, if you could, walk us through Sunday out there in Sacramento, and then obviously cap it off with that finals game and how it all ended.
Yeah, definitely. So we had it lined up when we were scouting on Sunday. We had level first, and we had played them in the prelims. And I don't ever underestimate level. I mean, I think those guys know how to play very well with each other.
Totally.
And they know how to bring diversity on the layout with plays, and just I think they're pretty dynamic. And knowing Robbie, they're not going to show the same cards again.
That's
so
right.
I wasn't quite sure what to expect with the level match. And again, I never underestimate those guys. I think they're really good players. And that match, I mean, we just came out right in the right frequency, all grooving together, played it slow. Of course, we knew we had a long day with, 7 guys with Mouse joining on Sunday. And then we 6-0'd them. So I mean, that match was just like a relief, but again, not too much pressure, not too many adjustments had to be made. And we were expecting to play you guys, Tyler. I mean, to be honest, that would be our second time to play each other. They always say playing the same team twice is pretty difficult. So we had expected that. Honestly, the Thunder game, like I really can't bring up I can't remember the details of how that went down. I know it was a 3-0. Do you guys have the score in front of you? Yep.
Before we dive into that, I want to hit on something that you said, because I think it's really important. You said in regards to the frequency, to the cadence, the frequency that you guys were carrying. Can you kind of open up what that means, even for maybe some players out there that might not understand what you're talking about in that regard?
Yeah, I think every team finds this energy or this cohesion in a different way. So some teams, they might go run wild and build some momentum up that way. Some teams, they might build a cohesion off the field before the game, kind of talking to each other, having their team chant. In my personal opinion, I think a good way to build cohesion is, especially if the match is running out of your hands, is to slow it the heck down. Have cross it up, maybe really make sure you're talking to everybody on the field and establish that connection with everybody. And then just the familiarity of the layout and of the guys you're playing with, that's kind of a good base foundation to build a cohesion. That's my preference. If things are going south and you're just not lined up, no one's hearing each other, no one's playing together, they're playing individual ball. It's really obvious when you see that, when you watch that type of team play. And my personal preference is to slow it down, connect, and then use that as a foundation and keep building to more diverse playing styles or bringing it more aggressive. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I love that. I absolutely love that. I think you're spot on, man. It's like a piece of music. You're putting together a piece of music, and every piece has to be hitting. Every note has to be on point. If we have any of these notes off or these riffs off, so the piece of music sounds like trash, and we get booed off the stage. So it's like, we got to make sure that everybody is on that frequency and carrying that cadence. I think it's really cool. You guys lost, I think, only 1 point the whole day. Is that right? Sunday?
Yeah.
Yep. I actually didn't lose a point on Sunday, for the record. I sat that one.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, big dog. Big dog. Give him the clap.
It's actually Matt Jackson and I both went undefeated on Sunday, for the record.
Dude,
the frequency. The frequency was there.
Hey, who
I
lost?
think that is
Zuppa. Who lost a point? Did Mouse lose the only point that was lost?
Yeah, I think Mouse was in, and I forgot who else, but it was like a fluke of a point. I mean, we lost like 3 off break, something like that.
I'm just giving him shit because Mouse obviously had to take a picture, send it to me immediately as soon as he won, and rub it in, and then he called me yesterday, and I'm like, congrats, dude. I'm like, I'm happy for you, good job. And he's like, you know what? I respect that you didn't shy away from the phone call. I'm like, what do you mean, dude? We're friends. We're great friends. We've been friends for a long time. Like, fucking grow up, dude. I love you.
I love it.
I'm happy for you.
Mouse was awesome.
Dude.
I mean, Mouse was really, really cool because we were talking. I called him after the first match, and we exchanged what we saw, and called him after the second match, the third match, and that's how you gotta connect with your team.
Yes.
And he gets there on Sunday and just was a complete team player, helping out everybody, being my eyes. I gave him all the tips and the walk-arounds of what I had thought about the layout so far. And I mean, I thought he played great too. He hopped in on some Sunday matches and just killed it. So I haven't seen that where someone comes in halfway through a tournament, but I mean, Mouse did it really well.
Well, Mouse did it last year when they won. He showed up on Sunday and he actually played a bunch. He played like pretty much all the points and stunted, I mean, look, Mouse is one of the best to ever do it. It's not hard for him to look at a field and get an understanding and let instincts kind of fly out there. So no surprise. I was impressed with how he did own that role of just being a good teammate and trying to boost you guys in the pits, and give you guys good information. That's kind of the next level for Mouse. He's always kind of been more reserved and more focused on his own game. But, he does have the ability to bring the best out in others too. And so, seeing him do that is, again, it's cool. Sending me all the photos and calling me to rub it in. I'm like, dude, I swear, like I'm happy for you. Obviously I wish we would have won, but if it's not me, I want my friends to win. I'm happy if Tyler wins. I'm happy if, Zuppa, I'm fucking pumped for you, dude. Honestly, I'm like so happy that you had that performance. Cause it's something that, I mean, I always knew that you were capable of, and to see it come to fruition on the main stage, especially in the finals, it's a bummer to have like a really great event. And then in the finals, if you don't quite have as great of a match, it's kind of a bummer, but dude, you went all the way through, and
you saw me, you saw me get some beat down in the early days. I mean, it was gosh, I don't know how many times you 6-0'd me or mercy ruled me, probably 4 and 5. I don't know, but it wasn't pretty initially.
Yeah. Totally. But again, that's so true to the form of like, just stay persistent and keep working hard. And that's what you always did. You continue to work hard, really diligent in the process. You're a good teammate. You're somebody that people enjoy being around. And that's put you in this position to be on one of the best teams to ever play the game. And put yourself in position to have a hell of a run,
Yeah, thank you. I think Impact's just a really healthy group of guys. We're mature. We talk through conflicts, and no one is ever yelling or screaming. It's always like coming with a logical approach. And I think that's really important. I want to touch on one thing real quick about going back to the frequency. Mouse can find the frequency or his tone or his pace very well. I feel like he could just hop in and find what works. And coming in on Sunday, it was cool to hear him kind of describe like what the energy of the team was, because it can change every tournament with different people playing with each other. And he kind of picked up on it initially, and he wanted to, I guess, kind of flow with us or kind of meld into what we had been building on. And I just kind of hearing it described that way, I was like, that's actually like, it was really interesting to analyze the game like that. Like, he wasn't trying to come in and disrupt. He was trying to like keep our momentum going. Yes. And again, I mean, A+ for him. I thought he was, outstanding teammate and player all weekend. I mean, he was a huge help to me.
Yeah, he had texted me something. I'm sorry, Ty.
I said that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about right there.
He had texted me, again, like bragging about the win. And so I kind of poked a funny jab. I was like, man, I think you should just coach from here on out.
Yeah. No, he was great.
Yeah, totally. No, but
he was great. And the frequency thing is like, I still think, and this is something I talk about all the time with the guys, like you have to find your way to get there and stay there. And I think that's the most important factor in professional paintball is how well you can play with each other. And I think Level's a good example. I mean, some of these guys don't have extensive pro experience, but man, I think there's times when they play so well together, they can beat any team.
Right.
So there's a lot of examples of, all different levels of teams in pro that can exhibit that quality.
Absolutely.
100%. I mean, how you play with one another is chemistry, team chemistry. That's the most important thing in all sports. That was, again, Phil Jackson and his, claim to fame and his success was how well he got the team to play together. Right. And team chemistry, in basketball, it's a lot easier to point out than in paintball because there's so many damn variables. There's hundreds of balls that are being shot, whereas in basketball there's one. But in basketball, it's as simple as like it happened today. I was playing pickup basketball today, and like our team just was not on the same page. Someone would be dribbling down with the ball, and I would be open and like slide over to a spot that I'm predicting they would want to pass to if they're going to drive to the hoop, right? I'm going to the corner for the 3. And instead of passing to the corner, they like dished it behind their back to the spot that I was at, and it's just like a lack of knowing where I want to go and me knowing where he wants to pass to. You see that in paintball all the time. And it could be as simple as I can see my teammates' body language if they want to make a move, and so I can gear up and be ready as soon as that move is made. I can make a move off of it, or I can reposition. Or if I see a teammate like kind of not flinch, but, react to something really harsh on the right side, if I know my teammate, I know that, that's his style. He's just gunfighting with someone in the corner. Or I could say, there's like something serious going on the other side of the field. I need to look that way. Again, kind of maybe a bad example, but you understand each other's body language and you could play off of each other without communicating. There's like a unspoken form of communication that's going on with team chemistry. And that is like the most important part to winning, in my opinion. That's where you see all of the magic happen. When teams are playing well, it's because they're all able to it's that frequency. They're all on the same one. They're singing the same song. They understand what beat they need to be at, in relation to everybody else. And everyone's a little bit different, but together. And it's,
yes,
that's the magic. It really is. That's absolutely the magic. And it's a hard thing to achieve. You can take that's why, they've always said you could take a bunch of superstars and put them on one team, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. They have to come together. They have to play together. They have to know what helps each other, what makes each other play better, how to play off of one another, and that's in all sports. Like a quarterback, I imagine, if you have a receiver that's running downfield, that's why like Brady and Gronk, they just know how to get the ball to each other. They're going to get that damn ball in the end zone together, because Brady's throwing that ball knowing where Gronk's going to be, because he's played with him for so long. And it's such a crucial part of paintball for sure. It's such a team sport.
And I think it's one of the most like puzzling formulas too, to figure out with different groups of guys, because there's sometimes when the times are rough where it's like, what the heck is going on? We just can't, sometimes you just can't reach the frequency, or just there's these other little distractions or something that kind of interrupt that. And it's hard to some days get into frequency. So when you find it and you get in a groove, do whatever you can to stay in the groove. And I think that's what we tried to do from day one. It's just day one was just the beginning of the tournament. We got to keep this going. Day 2, we got to keep this going. Day 3, and sometimes we start off a little bit cold or seemed a little bit flat, and then we were able to just reach that groove again. So I agree, it's extremely important.
Yeah, I think the flip side of the coin on that is being the best version of yourself as well, and carrying a very influential intention as you step onto the field, as you're in the pits prior to the game, showing the work ethic, showing that you're taking care of yourself, watching film, shooting your paintball gun, thinking about paintball theory, doing the necessary things for your health, your hydration. I think when you bring all of those things together and you accumulate that and you bring the best version of yourself to the organization, I think that also heightens the frequency, and it's infectious, right? It's completely infectious. When you see that going on, you start to get into that rhythm and you start to do all these other little details. So, it's partial frequency and then partial self of bringing the best version of myself to that frequency so that we can all resonate at the highest level. I think when you do that, you're going to have miracles happen out there on the paintball field.
Tyler, you do that so well, and Liz playing against you, and I just think that you've always been able to bring that energy, like to Heat or to other teams as well. It's like it's obvious, kind of you wear it on your sleeve.
Dude, it's all love, baby. It's all love. Yeah, man. I'm so proud of you too, brother. You fucking killed it out there, and congratulations to you and the squad and everything you guys are doing, man. Nothing but love.
Thank you. Hey, it's middle of the season, so I'm pumped to get back on the field in a couple weeks for the first layout practice. So 2 or 3 weeks? Is it 3 weeks?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It'll be.
Yep, we have 2 more weekends. So I know this weekend I'm going to Boston to coach the Team USA squad, the U19s kids, and then the weekend after that I'll be in New York, and then we have practice. So 3 weekends away.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get back out there and get the whole team together. Because everyone on the team, I mean, I think we got such a good group and we have a good direction we're trying to go here. So I'm looking forward to it.
Zuppa, what was your guys' approach to a blind layout? How did you guys go about, coming up with game plans, dissecting the field, figuring out where people were going to play? What was the process there? That's something that a lot of divisional players, are curious about. They have to play these events as well. And a lot of regional leagues are blind layout driven. So, are you okay with sharing some of those tips and secrets?
Yeah, I mean, this one was a little bit different than the last blind layout. And I think I had more time to walk the field on the last blind layout. And this one, I mean, I arrived late Thursday night, talked to the guys, what they saw in the day, and then spent as much time watching games. And in between every match, man, I was on the field. I was looking at shots Friday morning. So thankfully, I had some of that time Friday morning. And for us, I would say, like, looking at the roster that we had, how does everybody want to play? One of the comments that was made, is that we have a good group of guys that all of us seem to talk a lot. And not like there's guys on Impact that don't talk, but we have a lot of guys that connect pretty well with each other already and kind of have a similar tempo. And so we kind of built I'd say some game plans around the personnel that we had. And just, for me personally, like I've definitely in the past tournaments this year, I look at Mouse's tempo or I look at Axel's tempo, and that is a pretty fast tempo sometimes. And how I play is just different. Sometimes I like to make it to a safe spot, like to see what's going on, and then I like to choose my options after that. And even in finals, sometimes I was forced to stay in one of those bunkers to protect the D side. Or sometimes you see I'd make a quick bump and take the move and be the aggressor. That's just my personal style of how I like to play. And so this time, like, I guess I didn't have other people playing this side that have different styles of play that, like, I don't know, kind of influenced how we could play the field.
Totally.
We because we had a simple layout, we knew what our lane was that was going to work well for everyone. I'd say the same for Brandon on the D side. I mean, what a methodical player. And he can play the smart game, and man, can he attack and just bust the game open. So on the D side all tournament, either in the beginning or at that perfect time to kind of shift the momentum, he was busting down the D side. And that's how, I think both of us kind of understood how we play, and we designed a lot of the game plans around our personnel this time. That was kind of our personal approach. I mean, what about you guys?
Dude, that's such a wise thing. And it's my number one thing that I do when I coach divisional players is I design the game plans around the team. It's not around like what I think's best on the field. There's obviously a mix of that, but I look at like, okay, what are my players good at? And how can I use them together effectively? That is like so crucial. Whereas honestly, I think on Dynasty, we do that a little less. I think the last time we did that was when we decided to move Blake into the center. It like made sense that he should be a middle player. But I think we kind of approach it like, what's the best game plan for the field? And I don't know that that's always the right way. It has been working, sure, but I am a big fan of gearing your game plan around to the strengths of your team. Whatever that is, figuring out like what tools you have. And, if there's a layout where it's a bunch of big middle bunkers, you probably want a tall player in there, like I bring height into it, all of it. Like, I think that's an important thing. We spent a lot of time on the field. We spent probably about 3 hours walking the field and then, kind of just discussing back and forth, like, where do we think the good spots are going to be, and again, I think Dallas was, both of these fields, I mean, both of the fields were kind of simple. And I think you kind of led to that. This last layout in Sacramento, I think was pretty simple. It was, you either beat the other team to those center bricks and lock down the field, or they beat you to those bricks and you can't get caught making moves on the outside because of it. Right. So it's like, you either have to get down the tape before they're in those bricks, or get down the bricks or get to the bricks before they're down the tape. It was like kind of the flow of it. So I think it was a little more simple and straightforward, that field. But there's little nuances that, it's always tough, especially on Dynasty. And Ty, I definitely want to hear how it goes on Heat, but I know you also remember being on Dynasty. In practice, we at least have the opportunity to prove or disprove something. So we have a lot of players with ideas, and in practice, when we're preparing for an event, we get to go through those ideas, and say, well, this one is right, this one's wrong. Blind layout, you don't get that as much, right? So you're like on a shorter leash. I think that it makes sense to simplify it in a way, and just have your players play paintball together. What about you, Ty?
Yeah, I think you hit a big one there. With the blind layout, you kind of have to go to your base core instincts, and just play and freestyle a little bit more, because that's essentially, we're all learning it in the first day and second day. And then on the third day, you should have a pretty good idea of like you said, that cadence, that flow of the field. For the blind layout, we definitely roll in, spend a lot of time looking at the layout, going over some of the theories. There were some huge off the break shots on this particular layout, with those towers pretty far outset from that little mini temple that they had in the back middle. You were seeing a lot of people using the blind spot with the can in front of them to kind of block out their opponent in the back middle and make moves off of that, either up or over. But it's just all about, when you first look at a field, you got to look at, how are we going to first get production early, right? That's number one. Those first 5 seconds of the paintball game, looking at how we can give ourselves the best advantage off the break and make it to our spots. And then dialing in the intricacies of the 50s, because that's where you get all your production. You're going to get all your production up there at the 50s, moving onto their side of the field. So obviously looking at those transition spots and then taking a look at all of the 50s and dialing in all the little angles, the little cutoff points, the areas that we can connect from and have good communication, because all of us know here, it all streams off of that communication and that awareness. So being able to position for that as well. There's Marcelo, you're absolutely right. You don't get as many opportunities, especially when you have 10 players and you're rotating lines. You're actually cutting down the opportunity to look at things by 50%, essentially, if you're rotating in. So with a blind layout, I don't know that a big team is an advantage. It's good to have, I think, like Zuppa said, like 7, 8 is the sweet spot. They were running with 6 and then had 7, I think, on Sunday with Mouse. So it's just a completely different ball game, these blind layouts, the way that, you freestyle in the beginning and then draw it all together as it comes together, and we get on the same page and attack with that mentality and play with some freaking fire, go out there and get it.
Yeah, I do have a good example, actually, now that you outlined it, because that is kind of similar to what we did. And the first match, my idea was, I want to get up in that 50. We didn't know how to play the 50s yet, right? I don't know, fuzzy, where do we want to be? How do we want to play this? Will you eventually take their snake move? Because the tower shooting across on us, where will we be? And so the actual first match was a little bit boring, because I would go up to the to that snake 50 wedge and I just would cross. And my idea was, let's grab the control, let's control as much as we can, and then Fuzz will come in behind me and, hey, Fuzz, joystick me if you need me. That's just kind of what was working for us, is let's just grab this control, give the D side some relief. And then the second match is when we actually said, okay, let's get a little bit more funky on this snake sider up in the 50s and let's try a bunch of different things. But we had to kind of get familiar with that. And definitely after the first match, it was still I don't know exactly how we want to play together in these 50-yard lines, because there's a lot of options and there's always a vulnerability and, risk versus reward, how we want to play it. So we did a good job learning as we go through it. And the best part was, of course, all of our entire team could fit in this big truck that we were driving. So we had team meetings to and from the field, in the hotel rooms, and every second out of dinner, we're always talking about different things to do or different things to try. And those little refinements on the start box, those little adjustments of guns or picking up, trying to key up on a certain player, I think really is what kind of helps you get from that stage 1 to stage 2 in the tournament on a blind layout.
Dude,
absolutely.
I love that. I love that you guys were all in the same vehicle to and from the field. That is amazing. That really does allow for a lot of good conversation. And what else do you need more of to really bring a team to full fruition is that connectivity in those conversations. So you're having those to and from the field. You're vibing to the music. You're raging in the car, having fun, after, before,
Exactly.
like that's a whole
So
vibe.
the car was maxed out. The car was maxed out at 6 people. Mouse comes in 7, and we're still all riding in the same car. Okay, we all crammed into the car and threw all the bags in the back and just got on the same page. And we had some fun with it too. I mean, this turnout, I think we had a lot of fun together. That's important.
That's a big part of it, 100%. Zuppa, what do you prefer? Do you prefer blind layouts or the traditional?
I mean, are you serious?
I've been thinking about that. I mean,
you just got the MVP.
Course, yeah, what a time to ask me, right?
What?
For my particular strong suit, I think it's. I was thinking about this weekend too. I guess sometimes, like when you play a layout several weekends before a tournament, like you can kind of get into these habits, whether they're good or bad, and like you always are trying to find different ways to play it or to try to be more dynamic. But I think that like a blind layout, they're just two different animals. And I guess I kind of don't like sometimes when you get to the tournament and you've already just beaten it up. You just ripped the layout apart, gone through everything. Like sometimes that can be a bit frustrating to see everybody. I guess there's an aspect of it where I like that it's a game for your team to figure it out in the tournament as quickly as possible. And I think the better players can piece it together even quicker, and they're going to capitalize on that in the beginning of the tournament. And eventually, the gameplay gets more refined on a late Saturday or Sunday. But that initial game of figuring out the layout, that's like one of my favorite parts. And so you're adding like an extra competition of like time scale to it. That to me makes it pretty fun. I kind of would like to see more blind layouts. I kind of like it.
All right, he's in on it. I got.
MVP.
What are you guys?
I don't agree with a lot of that, but if you've listened to any PTG episodes, that's obvious. I do enjoy the process of figuring it out at the event too. I think that's a fun game. I really do. Like I think people get it twisted when they're like, "Oh, Marcelo hates blind layouts." No, I actually enjoy it. I think it's fun as well. What I don't like is I don't think that the better players can they figure it out quicker? Yes, but I don't think that it rewards the more experienced players. And it's kind of been proven the last 2 blind layout events that they've done. Yes, you guys won and Damage won as it should be, but you'd make the argument that a lot of teams knocked out really good teams, on Sunday. That happens in a blind layout because there's just still a little bit of chaos and a little bit of like closing your eyes and going to certain spots is a little more rewarded. Whether that's good or bad, I guess could be up for debate. I think when you give experienced players more time on a layout, they can find more creative and even more dynamic moves. I truly believe that. I truly believe that there's still that going on when a layout's released 2 weeks before. I actually think that's one of the most fun parts about you show up to the event and you're like, okay, we think we have everything figured out on this layout, but we have to realize that we don't. We definitely don't. And we're going to have to learn. The team that learns the most from Friday to Sunday usually wins those events because you go into it with your 2 weekends of practice. And, it also makes it really important to set up your practices with intention. You need to see different styles. You don't want to play the same team 2 weekends in a row so you can get, different looks. Cause no matter how much you can look at a layout, there's been so many events where I go and I'm like, I feel like I've thought through every possibility on this field. And then a team does something and I'm like, whoa, we didn't get hit with that. That's a new thing. And you'll kind of see like some events, you'll show up and it's like, oh, the Dorito side's the fast side. That's for sure where all the action's going to be, and then what happens at the event? Everyone knows that. So the Dorito side actually slows down and then moves in the middle open up and you have to be ahead of the game. You have to be able to realize when the middle is going to become the part of the game. And then you have to realize when it's going to switch to the snake side, and so there's like a major game within a game going on, even when there's layouts that are released. I just am a firm believer that the more time you give an experienced player, the more separation they're going to make with the less experienced teams. I do think the rankings show that with the 2 minors versus the majors. But
I could agree with you. I mean, I do respect both. They're in their own lane, and there's things I really respect about a blind layout that I think are interesting and fun.
I do too.
But, I mean, yeah, just maybe the blend of the two, like having the blend this year has been quite entertaining as a player. I've actually enjoyed it.
I honestly have like learned. I've started to like the blind layouts more. Than, originally I was like pretty 100%. They're dumb, don't like it, think it's silly, yada, yada, yada. But I do think even watching the webcast, like hearing, the commentary of these players are figuring it out like right now in real time. It is exciting. I agree with that. I think there's some excitement to that. I don't hate it at all. I definitely don't hate it. What I don't like is, again, it kind of dumbs down the practice, so like the weeks leading up to the event, it's kind of like, well, damn, what do? We don't have something to really work on. We don't have certain, things that we can do, drills, whatever. So I think
I agree.
Right. Like that's kind of a bummer, but so I think you're right. I think for that reason, I do like the medium where it's, we have the 4 majors and only 2 minors. Cause then we still get like the professionalism and preparation, that we want in those 4 events, but then you also have these 2 blind layout events. I dig it. I do. I like it more than I used to. So I said it here on PTG, everybody. You guys can back up off me, all you blind layout lovers. Okay, I don't hate it as much as I used to.
Yeah, it makes the practice for blind layouts just get way more difficult, and you can be much more constructive as a team with the layout. Yeah, so I 100% agree with that.
Totally.
Yeah, and regardless, be out there shooting paint. We should always be out there like basketball players are out there shooting those free throws, shooting layups, hitting shots, be out there shooting your gun. And then when we do have the layout, it's fun to dive into that. When you don't have a layout, you got to work it from a whole new angle, and it does present a different type of order that you have to fall into in a different style. So it's been definitely very interesting to see them both unfold. And I'm sure we're going to see more blind layouts as we move into the future.
Totally.
Yep.
Zuppa, last thing, again, just to clarify, you got event MVP. You also got finals MVP and move of the event. Is that all right?
I didn't know there was, I just heard that there was one MVP award, and they did give that to me. And then I got that sponsored move of the event, or play of the event award as well. They
didn't have a finals MVP?
I don't know. I guess I only heard of it as like kind of morphed into one, just MVP. I don't know if they specified.
Okay. Damn. Weird. I thought they also did a finals MVP, but I don't remember what they did for Dallas. Either way, dude, again, much deserved. That move was awesome. If you guys have not watched that game, go back and watch the final match with Impact and the Ironmen. Zoops put on a show. It was cool to see. And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing you here soon. We're going to be back at it. I know we're going to be practicing you guys weekend 2 of the layout. So I'll get to see you up in Northern California.
Yeah, I best say I was just about to book my flights, and that was mentioned. So yeah, look forward towards the weekend.
Nice. Heck yeah, brother.
Thank you so much for the support, guys. I really appreciate it.
Dude, thank you. And don't spend that $1,500 all at one place. That's how much you won for the move of the event, right? I'm pretty sure. You got it.
$1,000 or $1,500. It's funny. I was talking to Blake Yarber, and we drove his van, his camper van to the event, and I've really been wanting to do build a camper van as well or get one. So hey, I might put some of the money towards that. We'll see.
There we go.
Dude. Might be driving to some event. So.
Hell yeah. Well, hey man, you keep having fun, training hard, and we will see you soon in a couple weeks, running around and having fun playing paintball. Be safe, bro.
Hey, you too. Good talking, and see you all soon. Be safe.
For sure, brother. Thanks for the time. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace.
Zuppa, dude, he's the man. If you guys have not listened to our last episode with Mike Zuppa, go back and listen to it. I forget which one it was, but it was semi-recent, so in the last couple months.
Yeah. Really
he's
good.
Just such a dynamite person, man.
Yeah, proud of him. And he came from the Revo camp over to Impact with the shuffle that went on at the beginning of the year. And now he has secured his first pro win ever, which is awesome. So huge congratulations to him and Impact on that successful weekend out there in Sacramento. Yeah, I'm trying to look at the what episode that was. I know it wasn't too far back here. Mr. Mike Zuppa. Oh, it's 125.
Booyah. Dang, this is episode 153, Ty. We are rocking and rolling.
To the moon!
Rocking and rolling to the moon. And growing. I mean, just people are listening. They're enjoying. Freaking numbers of the previous episodes through the roof. So thank you guys all so much for rocking with us. We really hope you're enjoying the content. It looks like you guys are, which is amazing.
Totally.
You know, we got a lot of cool stuff going. I do want to talk a little bit about the GOATs. Shout out to the damn GOATs. They had a full team
GOATs
at NXL Sac, and I feel bad I didn't stay around and help Sunday again. I mean, my head was just, I needed to get out of there. I needed to just kind of go and be by myself and process stuff. I just was not feeling all that great. But the GOATs showed out on Sunday. They were rocking these PTG GOAT style jerseys that you guys, Ty, I think you spearheaded that. Those were fantastic. There's some cool videos and it was just awesome to have them out there rocking.
As the best.
And it's so cool that, the community that we have in the Discord, it's become such a great group of individuals, which I really love. We got fantasy football coming up, so that's always fun. That's going to be a good time for sure. They're putting
who
in
won last year? Dude, they did so good.
Calm down. A beginner's luck, bro. Beginner's luck. First time ever playing fantasy football. You're going down this year, though, brother.
I'll take
You're going down this year. I feel like we got to get some money in on this.
Let's get some money. Let's get the trophy.
The whole deal. Money. You definitely got to get the trophy going. That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
And
you still need your trophy from last year.
Yeah, we got to get a little placard on there, and we'll put everyone's name for the years as it goes on into the future. And we cannot thank you all enough in PTG World. That's what we call our Discord, for being a part of the community in there. It was so badass to see the GOAT squad. They were all together running. They were all together running amok out there, having the best time of their life. Literally, they were putting we didn't win the tournament, and they did well. But they had the most fun. That's what they were saying. They were like, out of anyone out here, we are having the most fun. And that's what we do in PTG. We have a lot of fun, and the GOATs are living large. Oh my God. We're going to have a GOAT mascot at World Cup. Yes. So be on the lookout for that. We're in the process of naming the GOAT right now in the Discord. So we'll be sounding off on a poll system where we can get some names going and name the GOAT that's going to be at World Cup. I can't 100%. Wait to see it.
Me neither. Funny. There's some great names floating around too. If you guys want to get in on the action, get in the damn Discord, and especially become a GOAT. This next month, we're going to have, I know on the last episode we had Paul, he told you guys we're giving away this headband. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on.
Dude, he's got a whole fountain. We got a fountain of drippery. We're giving out.
We have all sorts of Hormesis stuff. We don't advertise that we're doing these giveaways, really to the public. It's just kind of something that the GOATs know that they get in the monthly GOAT meeting. You guys get one extra show where it's like a live Q&A. It's really badass. We have a lot of fun in there. We get to hang out, rock a little bit, and we give you guys tons of insider info in the monthly GOAT meetings. And we also do really cool giveaways. You know what I mean? We do cool giveaways. We have shout out to Alex Frazee too. And all of the Hormesis lords. They keep us laced up with Hormesis stuff to give out at each of those. And then, got some other really cool stuff for this month too.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a ton of stuff, obviously, from our sponsors as well, on behalf of Heat and HK. And I know that Marcelo and Dynasty and JT, there's a bunch of cool stuff that we're able to provide to the community. And the most important thing is just the camaraderie, being able to tap in with everybody all the time. We have tons of different channels, fitness. We're making sure that we're all working hard, having fun. We got gear. There's just a multitude of different things you can hop into in there. And it's all for the love of paintball, for the culture of the game. And we're just so grateful to be a part of it with all of you. So thank you for tuning in and supporting the show. We got nothing but love for this community.
Yeah, 100%, my brother. Well, shoot, let's see. This weekend, I'm heading to Boston. I've got the U19's Team USA squad will be hosting a 3-day practice, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then the following weekend, I will be in New York coaching Wrecking Crew for the OPS tournament. And then we are diving straight into the Chicago practices. What do you have going on the next couple weeks, brother?
Yep. East Coast. Dude, you've been going to the East Coast a lot. You're always over there.
Oh, man. Yeah, a lot. Yes.
Yes.
100%. I mean, my status has already been reached for next year. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's the earliest that I've ever gotten it. And I did the least amount of international travel this year.
There you go. You're getting it. I will be going out and probably just filming some BKI content, shooting my paintball gun. I try to shoot my paintball marker as often as I can, run around and just, like I said, hit shots, run around with the locals, get, just anytime I can play with the people like that. We're really about the paintball culture, going out to wherever I can, Battle Zone, Wild West, and playing paintball and just getting out there and having fun. And then we'll be hopping into Houston Heat practice on the 25th. I think I'll be heading out to wherever we're going to be practicing at. I'm not entirely sure yet, but we'll be diving into probably X Factor or going out to California and playing at Pendleton. I know we're talking about trying to get out there.
Nice. Yeah, I think we'll be at Camp Pendleton weekend 1.
Well, maybe I'll see you there.
Dude, that'd be awesome. Sweet.
Yeah, that would be dope.
You'll be on the other field with the Iron Men. I know they're in our bracket, so we won't be practicing them, but we're supposed to have Aftermath out there with New York Extreme and then Impact weekend 2.
There we go.
So yeah, I'm excited, I'm glad this minor was so close to Chicago, you know what I mean? Because we can just kind of roll right into practicing. I know you're probably hungry and chomping at the bit to have another chance at the tournament. Did we talk about what happened in your guys' match against Thunder?
No. Yes, dude, super hungry and just like, I just want to get back with the boys and start working again and getting this thing going. A couple of details just didn't roll our way. We got into the final minute. I think we had a minute point and they won that minute point. It was tied up to go into OT. They won that one and good on them. Like they played really well. Proud of the guys. Shout out to the OG Naughty Dog crew. I'm a old Naughty Dog alumni player, so it's cool to see them still running around and having fun. And, I just, I'm really happy with where pro paintball is at and all the players. Everyone's going after it and playing hard and getting it, and you can see that right now.
100%, brother.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ty, I don't know. I think the last thing that I have is I know that, back to Bobby, I would love to, it's just a little too soon, and I understand, but I would love to, get a lot of the boys on to just kind of share some great stories with Bobby, because I know we all have them. I know we all have just amazing stories with Bobby. That's all he left everybody with, man. He was just always so fantastic. But
absolutely,
one thing that was asked from his girlfriend, Nina, shout out to Nina, the paintball photographer. She's the shit.
Yes, she is.
And, can't imagine what she's going through right now. I know it's incredibly tough time. And the one thing she asked me is if anybody has any, photos or videos or memories with Bobby, if they could send them to her. And she requested that you either send them to her email address or her Instagram. And her email address is Dels Nina. So that's D as in Delta, ELLES Nina, NINA @gmail.com. And then her Instagram is NIN_A_NNA. She does a lot for the paintball community. She's been a great individual in the media portion of this sport. Has a lot of passion for the game, and she's from Europe. She's over there in Germany right now. So if you guys could just reach out, send her some love, let her know that you're thinking about her, and if you guys do have any amazing memories with Bobby, she would love to see them. So
we love you, Nina.
If you guys could appreciate it.
And everybody, let's show out. Let's if you have videos, photo, let's really show that love for Bobby the way that he showed his love for the world and this game. And we will be sure to keep you all posted as well on our Instagram if we hear anything in regards to the ceremony. And everybody stay safe out there. Keep having fun. Keep playing paintball. And we will see you in PTG land very soon. We love you.
All right. Love you guys. Peace.
Peace.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Again, if you guys could, please reach out to Nina. She needs all the love and support that she can get right now, and to Bobby's family as well. Yeah, there was just, tough times, absolutely tough times. The paintball world lost another amazing cornerstone, but we will definitely do our best to make sure that the legend of Bobby lives on forever. All right, everybody, that's pretty much all I got this time, but I look forward to seeing you guys again soon, and we'll have another great episode waiting for you in the near future. All right, everybody, see you soon.